paint it yourself project. And another also make it yourself project. We asked my dad, we told him that we were looking for something to do one of those little coffee stations that are really trending right now. And so this is what he came up with for us. The front is down a little bit so that you can put your coffee or your hot chocolate, your marshmallows and everything inside, or your mugs. And then the back is a little bit higher. And then he put this little ledge on here. And it was funny because when I asked him why he put this little ledge on here, he said when I first started talking to him about making this little toolbox thing, he thought I was talking about making a toolbox for paint. He didn't understand the coffee station concept. So he made this for our painting tools, and it's so cute. Because I said, well, Dad, why did you put these little holes in here? And he said, well, because you could put your brushes in there. Now, is that not just adorable? So anyways, it is a multi-purpose little project. We will be starting the Paint It Yourself project in a pails in January of 2018, and this will be one of the first probably 3 months of project in a pail. Very versatile. So anyways, I'm going to quit yapping. Cindy's giving me the eye over here, and I am going to, so I have my angle brush, the brush that I always use, my go-to brush, and you will notice that on our paint projects, such as this one, we use, well, where we're from, I call it bug kill wood. It's, and I'm not gonna do the bottom because my sister's gonna be yelling at me in a minute because I'm not doing the bottom. I'm not gonna do the bottom in the video because it takes too long. It's bug kill wood, so it's got, you know, the knots and everything in it, but they are such character, like, you know, it's the PIY paint products dry really quickly. So this is a project that you could easily do in just a couple hours, and it is a perfect home party project. We had some home parties on the weekend and they were just super. Just women getting together in your home or your friend's home or garage or basement and doing little projects. It was just a ball of fun. Our retailers and brand ambassadors love that too. And as this project, as with any of the ones that I'm doing, right in my kitchen on my dining room table, putting down a cloth. I have a cloth, you could put down a drop cloth, a sheet, even just a piece of I think drop cloths you can buy at the dollar store for like, well actually Cindy, I think don't the projects in a pail come with a drop cloth, don't they?
Yes.
Yes they do. So when you get your project in a pail, you're going to get everything you need to paint that project. Your paint, or if it says stencil, you'll get everything you need to paint that project. Oh yeah. Producer sneezed. And he was trying so hard not to. So we've now base coated our coffee bar / painted toolbox. And I'm just gonna let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to do some stenciling and some dark waxing. So I'll be right back. So I'm kind of starting without you a little bit, starting without the producer. So now what I'm going to do is I've base coated it, and I want to make it very, very rustic for to make a hot chocolate coffee bar type thing. So I am going to take our barrel brush. I use a rag a lot when I'm doing my waxing on bigger projects, but on a project such as this, I have to get right into the cracks and crevices, and as you can tell, we have a studio at home, so the phone rings. So there's our black paste wax. I go into the paste wax, dab a little bit off, whoops. And again, I'm going in circular motion into my wax. You want to cover it, but you don't want to, and I didn't paint the bottom of my project, so God, Cindy, I'll think I'm so quiet because I'm hardly not even talking. And then I can get, with my brush, I can get inside. See, let's go up here. Let's do all our corners and our top.
Now, can you put a stencil over that once you've waxed it?
Yeah, and I'm going to. I'm going to put my coffee stencil on. Now, I'm using the black wax, but you can use any kind of wax you want. And you can either buy our pre-made aging waxes from your local retailer or online, or you can just make your own by adding the PIY paint into your wax. So I've got some dark areas, some light areas. That's what I want. I don't want anything super uniform. I'm gonna go to this side. Oh, that's what knocked my paint all over the floor. These coffee stations, hot chocolate stations and stuff are sure popping up in everybody's kitchens, aren't they, Cindy?
They really are.
Yeah.
They're cool.
They are. They're so cool. Just sort of everything in one place is just the way to do it, right? And my kitchen is kind of like, has a lot of, well, my kitchen's actually, my curtains and stuff are the same as the fabric I've got that I'm using as a drop cloth. I had some extra from making the curtains. So people ask, like, you know, why do you have your own business? Like, and we always answer with the fact that, you know, people say having your own business is great because you can do what you want when you want. Well, that is not true at all. But the nice thing about having your own business is you can sort of decide who you want to spend a lot of time with. And in our business, my mom helps us almost daily in the paint shop, and my dad builds our projects for us. So it becomes a real family affair. Cindy's husband makes the paint for us, and everybody sort of pitches in. My son and granddaughter and that, if we need help, they pitch in. So it's just kind of a really neat little sort of family affair business. And that's why we run our own business. Not because it's a lot less work, I tell you, because seriously, I think running your own business, you work harder for yourself than you would at another job, but it's all rewarding, and that's the PIY paint. That's why we do what we do. And oh my, you would think that I should almost be in a gym because I'm sweating so much, but the wood that I'm using has a lot of grain, so I'm trying to make sure that we get in all the corners. We want it all different, right? We want light, we want dark, so it's all about putting some on, taking it off, get little tiny corners. I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to get in the corner. So I'm kind of thinking, now I'm going to put a little bit of a raised stencil on here. So I'm kind of thinking that I can add more later, because that's the thing, right? You can always come back, you can add more. So put it as much as you want on it, and then take some off, put more on. My spoon, 1 second. Okay. So, to make my raised stencil, I'm gonna put, I want a brown. So I don't need a lot because I'm only doing a little bit. So I'm using the PIY paint chalk powder. So I am taking the powder and putting it into the paint. Now, if I use the recipe on the jar, I am going to make the exact PIY paint. But I want it thicker because I want a nice raised stencil. And you'll see, I don't need a blender or a beater, anything. It is almost like, well, I think it's kind of like making an icing, and all different thicknesses will make different techniques. So this could be used to paint a jar. You can see it's nice and thick, but you're also gonna get coverage in one coat. For my raised stencil, I want it about as thick as I would make like a butter icing. Just because I want it to stand up, and you just, like making butter icing, you're gonna put a little bit in and you're gonna, that is perfect. And if you do get a little tiny bit of extra white, don't worry about it. I should have my apron on today. It's like I'm cooking in the kitchen.
You are cooking in the
I'm
kitchen.
cooking in the kitchen. Okay, so once again, don't notice my bottom is not painted. I'm taking a stencil, and one of the beautiful things about stencils is that, you can tell I don't wash my stencils, but that's okay too. We're all busy, right? And paint it yourself, it's gotta be simple, no stress. One of the things that I love about stencils is that you can take certain parts off of any stencil. So we wanted to put like something to do with a coffee bar on here, but we didn't have a coffee stencil. But if we go to the gingerbread Christmas stencil, we can see latte, cookies, and tarts. Works perfect, works for us. So I am going to put it on, and I'm purposely not going to make it straight or even. I want it kind of straight, so I'll line up against with the bottom of the project. I always laugh because I always tell my sister that if the bottom isn't painted of things, if you've got friends over and they see the bottom of your stuff, like your table or whatever, they're too drunk, they should go home. So that's why my bottom is not painted. I'm going to sort of center it, put it over to this side, so that on this side I want to add something like maybe some kind of embellishment or something. So it is that simple. I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to take my paste, and it looks pretty good. You know what? I am going to, I love it when this works for camera because that way it can show you as you're going, you know, you're looking at it and going, well, it doesn't look really thick enough. Then, you know what, add some more powder. Now let's say I added too much powder and I made it too thick. I'm gonna add a little bit more paint. Like it's just like making icing. I always find if I'm making a cake sometimes, I will end up with like a whole extra bowl of icing because you know what? I want to go up here because I make too much and then I have to eat it all. So now I am going to put it along just like this. If my sister would be on camera, I would get her to help hold it, but it's okay. We're all good. And let's say if I mess this up, you know what? I'm just going to take a spatula, I'm going to pull it apart, and what was I saying? Because now I'm thinking. What was I saying now?
If it doesn't work, you're just gonna take a spatula and...
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna just wipe it off. See, that's why I have my sister. There, hold on. So you can see now I have a nice raised latte tarts, and I just went a little bit out of the lines. It's almost like in kindergarten, hey? When you go out of the lines in crayons and stuff. painting inside the lines. I never did that though. I never painted in the lines. Even in school, I never painted in the lines. Who wants to, right? So now I've got my latte cookies and tarts. I'm going to go look for a nice embellishment here. I am going to wait till it dries. I'm gonna buff it all up. I am going to get some nice pretty things like some marshmallows and chocolate, cocoa, and that. We're gonna put our mugs on the back, and we'll be back to show you how you can paint it yourself. Okay, we're back, and we've got our coffee hot chocolate station. It's all waxed and dry, so we've scooted out. We went to the local dollar store, got some containers, and we've got some food to put in them. So I know that is the big trend right now, is the coffee bar, hot chocolate bar. So we've got, went and got some little jars that we're going to put in hot chocolate. Can't have hot chocolate without marshmallows. And you can't have hot chocolate without cookies. So that's how simple it is. We'll put those in. Sorry, Stephen, I'm moving things around. And then I'm gonna put one of the cups with some spoons in. Now you can change this up. You can put coffee, sugar, cream, just change it up all year. And then remember my dad, he put that little ledge on the back, which is perfect because I can put, oh, you know what? I was gonna add some simple little lights to that because, I don't know, I just like little things that sort of add just a tiny touch of bling on my kitchen. So I'm just gonna add a couple little rustic stars to my display. And then I'm going to put some cups on the back, which is kind of cool. So you can do anything, like Cindy had said too, I should put a nice big bow or something there, which I could do. And maybe that there. How's it look, Sid?
It looks great. Turn your lights on.
My lights are on. Oh, but you can't see it because it's dark.
Yeah.
Anyways, we do have some really pretty little lights going on. But you know what? You're going to make it the way that you want it for your house. You're going to personalize it. And the best thing of all is you're going to paint it yourself.